You ever pull up Google, search for something related to your business, and just sigh? You see these huge national brands just hogging the entire first page, and you think to yourself, how am I ever supposed to compete with that? Well, what if I told you that their biggest strength, their size, is actually their greatest weakness, and you're perfectly positioned to exploit it? Seriously, that's the honest-to-God truth. For all their massive budgets and marketing teams, these giants, they're slow, they're clumsy, and they are absolutely vulnerable. They have these huge blind spots you could drive a semi-truck through. And that's the big question, right? Where do you even start? Well, that's what we're going to do today. We're not just going to point out the cracks in their armor, we're going to give you the crowbar and show you exactly how to pry them wide open. All right, so let's get right into it. If you want to be a giant, you have to understand where they're weak. It turns out there are 5 fundamental flaws baked into their entire approach to SEO. Okay, first up, big brands have to create content at an insane scale. We're talking hundreds, sometimes thousands of articles a year. And that scale forces them to be incredibly shallow. Their content is a mile wide, sure, but it's only an inch deep. It has to be generic. And that right there, that's your first big opening. While they're busy writing a generic post about how to plant a garden, you can write the ultimate guide to growing cherry tomatoes on a windy west-facing balcony in Chicago. They can't ever get that specific, but you can. And that leads right into the second weakness. A national brand, by definition, has to write for everybody. They're writing for people in Miami and in Seattle, all with the same article, which means they can't possibly speak to the unique problems, the local laws, or even just the lingo of your specific town. You, on the other hand, have the home field advantage. You know the local quirks. You know the exact problems your neighbors are facing because you're facing them too. That knowledge is a superpower they can never, ever buy from their headquarters 1,000 miles away. Now, think about how these big companies target keywords. They go for the big, flashy ones with tons of search volume, right? Stuff like car insurance. But that's not how real people search. Real people ask super specific questions, like, what's the best car insurance for a new driver with one small accident in a snowy state? So let them have it. Let them burn millions of dollars fighting over those big, generic terms. Your huge opportunity is in becoming the only credible answer for the thousands of detailed questions that real, motivated customers are typing into Google every single day. And let's be honest for a second, the person writing an article for some giant home improvement store, have they ever actually fixed a leaky faucet in the middle of the night? Probably not. They're a professional writer in a cubicle, hired to churn out content. They've never gotten their hands dirty. But you have actually done the thing. You have the stories. You have the scars. You can talk about the time a project went completely sideways and what you learned from it. That kind of raw authenticity builds a level of trust that sterile corporate speak can't even get close to. I mean, think about it. Who is Megacorp Incorporated? It's a logo. It's a faceless building. But a small business? That's you. That's a real person with a name, a face, and real relationships in the place you live. When somebody goes on the local Facebook group and asks for a recommendation, your name might come up. A big brand's name never will. That built-in person-to-person trust is your ultimate unbeatable advantage. They can't fake it, and they can't buy it. Okay, so we've mapped out all the giants' weak spots. We know where the armor is thin. Now, what's our weapon? What's the slingshot we're going to use in this David and Goliath story? Well, it all comes down to one incredibly powerful concept. Long-tail keywords. This is it. This is your secret weapon. Instead of wasting all your energy fighting for those broad, super competitive 1- or 2-word phrases, you target these longer, way more specific searches that show somebody is ready to take action. So let's make this real. While a huge brand is spending a fortune to rank for plumber, you focus on emergency plumber open Sunday near me. While they're battling for garden soil, you target best soil for growing tomatoes in containers in a hot climate. You see the difference? One is just a vague interest. The other is a desperate, specific need. And get this. This is not some tiny little niche strategy. An absolutely staggering 70% of all searches on Google are for these long-tail keywords. That means the big brands are all fighting like crazy over just 30% of the pie. The vast, vast majority of search traffic is happening right where they aren't even looking. And the best part? You can find these for free. Just go to Google, type in a really broad topic in your field, and scroll down to that little box that says People Also Ask. Every time you click on one of those questions, more pop up. It's like a never-ending gold mine of the exact things your potential customers are trying to figure out. So here's how it all comes together. The big brand writes, water your plants regularly. You write, here in Texas, I water my tomatoes at 6 a.m., but once the temperature hits 95 degrees, I switch to evening watering to prevent scorching. Here's a mistake I made last July. Who are you going to trust? It's not even a fair fight. All right, so you might be thinking, this sounds good in theory, but does it actually work in the real world? Great question. Let's look at some proof, and then I'll give you an exact 30-day battle plan to get started. This is a real article title. It's from a small plumbing company in Austin, Texas, who was getting absolutely buried by the national chains. So instead of trying to rank for Plumber Austin, they listened to what their customers were actually panicking about, and they wrote this super specific article about this one terrifying problem that people in older Austin homes run into. And what happened? In just 3 months, they hit the #1 spot on Google for that exact search. Think about that. They didn't need to be #1 for the generic term. They became #1 for the problem, which brought them desperate, ready to buy customers who already saw them as the expert. And you can absolutely do this too. Here's your plan. Week 1 is all about discovery. Just be a detective. Talk to your customers, use that people also ask trick, and find their most painful, specific questions. Week 2, create one single amazing piece of content answering just one of those questions. Week 3, you do a little optimization, make sure the page is clear for Google, and week 4, you just share it where your community already hangs out. That's it. It's focused, it's manageable, and it works. So, let's end on this thought. Your size is not your weakness. It is your greatest strategic advantage. Stop trying to play the game by their rules, because you'll lose. It's time to change the game. Go deep where they stay shallow. Be local when they have to be global. Answer the questions they ignore. That is how you stop competing, and that is how you start winning.